right. How's everybody doing today? Good, thanks. Obviously, great challenge for us this week. An excellent football team coming in here with South Carolina, a team that's been in a bunch of close games and found ways to win those close games, found ways to battle it out and come out on top in some of these close battles that they've had this year. You got a very talented offense, can put up big numbers. Quarterback that's a veteran guy with some playmaking wide receivers, very, very physical running backs. That you got to get a bunch of guys to the ball to tackle them, to get them on the ground, and then defensively, obviously, they get a great defensive scheme. Defensive head coach puts them in position to make plays. One of the top red zone defenses in the country. That even if you do get some yards and move the ball, they're really hard to put points up on the board for. So, going to be a huge challenge for our guys. We have a lot of our things we got to improve on to get better at as a team and continue to grow and play as a team and in all three phases. So it'll be a great challenge for us this week. On the injury front, we got a bunch of guys banged up and battered, but on the training report, there's nothing that should prevent anybody. There'll be guys that are very limited probably during the week, but that's not uncommon to me this time of year. But according to the training room, everybody is cleared to, they should be cleared to go by Saturday. Full go on Saturday and go from limited to full go on Saturday. There's nothing that's an injury that should prevent anybody from playing, fortunately for us, that isn't already out. So, questions?
Couple days now to reflect. Any difference in quarterback at this point? Any change in your opinion?
No, they both graded. Honestly, I think they graded within 1 point of each other. So see how the week goes. I said, when we weren't moving the ball well as a whole offense. That's not just. There were a lot of other problems besides the quarterback. With that, we put in a young running back as well. We rotated some linemen and we put in a different quarterback But also, Kyle had a good week of practice, so you felt comfortable in doing that last week. So we'll see how this week's practice goes.
And there were rumors and rumblings about a locker room scuffle that may have included Franks. Any truth to that after the game, post game?
No, not. If it was, it was like. If it was like late at night after everybody went home, and there were one or two people maybe left in the locker room. But no, I thought. After the game, they were all in there. They were listening. We have guys that are learning to do things the right way. I still don't feel any resistance on the team. After the game, that was to be honest with you, that was probably the most attentive they've ever been after. Everybody, come in. Sometimes I got to call them all up. Guys are putting their helmets and doing everybody was on a knee waiting as I walked in the locker room. Because I think there's guys that are they want to believe in what we're doing and move forward and how to get it done. And so that was good. What we got to do is figure out, though, where we're at and how to continue to move forward. Our competitive edge. The biggest one is, like I kind of said the other day, we got to compete. We got to come out desperate to compete on every play. And then the guys also got to learn that, hey, it's not just, hey, we're at noon kickoff this week. We'll be ready at noon, coach. We ain't going to be ready at noon unless we compete every single snap at practice during the week either. You can't just turn it on and off.
You've talked about leadership a couple times this season and the fact that the really good teams have that come from players. Do you have those guys on this team?
No, I think guys are we have the potential to. I don't know that we do right now. It's also first year within the program, and I think there's a lot of guys that are learning to lead. I think we have guys that potentially could be leaders. One of the things guys got to figure out is how to do it. Because there's guys that that maybe want to do the right thing but haven't always during their career. And so they kind of like, I want to speak up about doing the right thing, but also guys are going to look at me and be like, man, maybe, you were the leader of doing things wrong. You were the leader of doing things wrong your whole career. Now all of a sudden you're the leader of trying to do things right. But I think as guys grow and mature within the program, they're going to be more comfortable in how to present that and how to lead. And that comes with time. That comes from comfort within the program, comfort with what we're doing and what's going to happen and the expectations, how things work, and comfort with themselves of feeling free to speak out.
R.J. Raymond made kind of an interesting comment the other night. He said basically that he had tried to lead by setting an example and just doing the right things himself, and that the time for that's over. Now he needs to start dragging guys with him.
Yeah, he was very vocal, but that's part of it. And RJ's a guy that does things the right way for us. Doesn't have a huge, but I think, understand, doesn't have the biggest role on the team, but has a very critical role on the team. And I think guys got to learn. I said that, I want to win this Saturday. I'm ready to go. I want to compete. I want to work I'm not playing a snap. I don't get to play a snap on Saturday. And that's the mindset everybody has to have in the room. I think some guys, and I think RJ's point as he, being vocal to that is everyone's role within the program is critical for our success. Whether you're playing 90 snaps or 2 snaps, your role in our success doesn't change. You might play. I don't play any, but I think I probably have a little bit of a role for Saturday, and I'm not playing any snaps. And so I that part of leadership, excuse me, I like, and I think he's not afraid to stand up and be vocal of what he sees and what he thinks we need to do.
After looking at the tape, could you kind of evaluate how the 2 quarterbacks played? Yeah,
they graded about the same grade. No, neither of them graded a champion. Our grades were about the same. I think we're both about 72%.
And what does Trask do? What are his strengths, Kyle Trask?
He throws a nice ball and he runs hard. He's got good size. Very, very similar to Felipe's. Felipe's probably got a little stronger arm and probably a little more athletic, and Trask might be a little bit more physical when he runs the ball.
Hey, Dan, so like on a team that's still like sort of learning who its leaders are,
Mm-hmm.
how do you sort of like guard against possible dissension within the group?
You just kind of make sure you're talking to the whole team about that. You look at it, and to me, you got to pay very close attention to see if you see it, and I haven't seen that. It kind of becomes an attitude or a little, guys kind of breaking off, wanting to do their own thing. And like I said, after the game, I made a point on every little detail. I'm going to be honest with you, I think everybody was 5 minutes early to the team meeting this morning. So, there weren't stragglers coming in late. Everybody made it to treatments yesterday from the training room. So those are things that you look for. What are the little things that are out there like that would be signs, and actually see it the other way of a little bit of a hunger to try to do things the right way. Now what we got to do is get a little chip on our shoulder and some toughness to respond to that within our performance, not just our attitude, which is good, but our performance has to match our attitude.
And just on the quarterbacks, what sort of like has to happen for you to like force your hand and make a switch going into this week?
Nothing. Like I've always said, I'm gonna, we'll look to see how practice goes. We might play 2 quarterbacks, might play 3. I don't. I want to see. We're still putting the game plan together. And I want to just see, as we put the game plan together, we go out and practice it, who gives us the best chance to win. That's kind of how we've done it all along throughout the whole year.
Will you change the division of snaps? I don't know how you divide them up.
At practice?
Yeah.
Brian and I were talking about that a little bit, of just seeing how it goes. And if we want to, balance it. You know, I mean, you can give a couple here and there, extra here and there. But, you know, if you look at our week of practice, I'm not a big where the ones get all the reps and the twos get 10 reps a day. Our ones and twos are usually within 6 reps per practice of each other. So, you don't have to split them up a whole lot more than we already do because it's just player development. You know, I mean, it's, you go in a game, you got 2 deep. And I know everybody thinks as a quarterback, I mean, the backup center's got to get ready to go. That's just as important as the quarterback position. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, you have somebody that can't snap the ball, doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If you have no left guard, put Tom Brady back there, remove the left guard, it's not going to look real good. And so, I mean, that's how we've always kind of broken it up. So I don't know that has to be a major shift or an adjustment.
You know, I haven't examined your history as a head coach, but have you made a quarterback change this late in the season if without injury being involved?
I don't know wholesale if we have. I might have at Bowling Green. We kind of first year went to, I don't remember when it is. We kind of went to Josh Harris. We were kind of playing multiple quarterbacks. And we had a kid named Andy Somm and Josh Harris, and they were very different style quarterbacks. And when as the season went on, we shifted more to Josh and thought that he gave us the better opportunity with his athleticism.
But not as a head coach then?
I don't think without injuries we haven't changed a whole lot. No, my first year, Mississippi State. Yeah, because we kind of went to Chris Relf from Tyson Lee. But we kind of played a little bit of both, too. I almost did that year. Almost just skipped everybody, went right to Tyler Russell. At the midway point of the season. It was actually it ended up being beneficial not to at that moment. It was kind of funny. I'm like, all right, we're going Tyler. And the funny thing is we got a turnover the next play, so we didn't have time to get him warmed up and ready. And then by the time the next series was over, I calmed myself down.
No, I'm good. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Was Saturday sort of an anomaly, or is it more indicative of where this team is right now?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably where we are as a team. If we don't play well, we're not, if you look at how we've been so far this year, when we come out and we play execute at a high level in all 3 phases, we're a pretty darn good football team. If we don't, we're not at the point where we can just not play well and cover that up with just phenomenal playmakers, or just a light comes on and all of a sudden we hit a switch and we can just, shift to a whole nother gear of performance. That's more where the program is right now, is we got to come out and we got to play hard for 4 quarters. We got to play physical for 4 quarters. We got to follow the plan to win and execute. But if you come out and you don't play great defense, and that's not in all 3 phases. Play great defense is one, which constitutes field position. A little bit of flipping field position within the kicking game, within getting first downs on the offense to flip field position, and then defense being able to control field position, get off the field, and play great defense that way. If you don't win the special teams, which we didn't on Saturday, you don't win the turnover battle, which ended up being a push, or you don't win red zone scoring, which we didn't do on Saturday. If you don't do those things, you're not going to win. We're not good enough to not follow the plan to win and still win the football game.
When you went back and watched it, was it more execution, or did you see lack of effort throughout the game Saturday?
No, I mean, it wasn't great execution, but yeah, I don't see a lack of effort, but I see, a lack of maybe the mental effort can lead to execution. I didn't think it was our guys not trying, but I mean, to me, there's the mental effort, the mental strain, as well as the physical strain to execute at a high level. I mean, there's all kinds of, you can go watch the film and it's pretty easy to see if you look offensively, if 10 guys do the right thing and one guy does the wrong thing, we're not, you could get lucky and it's the right guy did the wrong thing if you're going to run that play. But if it's not the right guy, if it's anybody near the point of attack or if anybody has anything to really do with the play falls apart, And, I look at big series in that game. We get the ball in the back to the wall, right? And we have 2 wide open receivers. And we overthrow both of them because the quarterback's getting lit up the second he tries to throw the ball. If we just protect on either of those 2 plays, they're completions. And all of a sudden, now we're, again, the offense is playing great defense. You're another first down. You flip the field position. You pin them deep. They don't have the ball on a short field to go score. That's the stuff we got to do as a team. And you know what? And it was 2 different guys on 2 different plays in protection. Right? And you can yell the quarterback, love the quarterback, sit there as you're getting hit, keep the feet in the ground, take the big wallop and set your feet and still make the unbelievable throw. I mean, he needs to do that too. But, you can look and say, this is why that happened. And if we just execute, it wasn't even, they didn't pressure, they didn't blitz either of those 2 plays. Both of them were 4-man rushes. Base defense, 4-man rush, 2 guys wide open. We missed 2 throws because the quarterback's getting hit within, 1.6 seconds of the ball being snapped with wide open receivers.
Dan, a lot of fans, there's this sentiment of, we're not playing for the SEC anymore. Why don't we just throw Emory out there and build for the future? What would you kind of say to them in terms of discussing the utility of a red shirt at this point?
Well, one, you got to look at Emory and within his development. There's an injustice to put guys on the field before they're completely ready to go play. Now, if I think Emory's completely ready to go play, we could go play him. If he's going to give us the best chance to win, we'll go do that. But there's also a lot of discussion, too, you have to have with his overall development. I'd fair to say Felipe probably played before he was ready to play, and I think that's hurt his development. I'll be honest with you, when I got here in 2005, Chris Leak played, I think, before he was ready to play. And that hurt his development. And, so I think you have to be careful with that of just say, hey, let's just throw this guy out there, and that's how you develop the player. Aaron Rodgers is a pretty good quarterback in the NFL, and he didn't play for a couple years when he got there. Okay? Now, would that have helped? Would he be even better if he had played? Would he be? Well, I don't know. You don't know that answer, but my guess would that didn't hurt his overall development to become the player that he is, to let him grow at the right deal, right? If you go back to that draft, Alex Smith and him drafted in the same. If Aaron Rodgers had gone to the 49ers with no line, right, or whatever, and had to play right away, would he be a different player? I don't know. It's an interesting thing. So that's one of the things we do looking at Emory's development individually.
You were pretty critical of the offensive line after the game, too. Did that show up again on film as much? And is the depth just not there to make changes to those guys?
I mean, to be honest with you, we're trying to put the best 5 guys on the field. And that's what we're, after practice and evaluation, those are the best 5 right now. So, we got a long way to go. Development. I think we have some good ones. I am pleased right now with the development of Richard Garage. I think he's going to come along and be very good. I don't know that he's ready to go into an SEC game right now, and especially at the back end of a season like this. And Chris Bleich, I think those, there's some of those guys that are coming along. But right now, we think that's what gives us the best opportunity to win. And I'd love, again, I'm not pointing fingers at an individual alignment. It's, there's guys you can look by the play, and if 4 guys do good and 1 does bad, it's not going to work out well for us. And so, when we've done well, our offensive line has, I don't know that, everybody, we've gotten in and we go back a couple weeks, everyone's like, boy, the offensive line's kind of dominating and we're moving people. And I don't know that was. We were executing. You know, we had 5 guys kind of executing. I don't know that we've just flat dominated the line of scrimmage this year. But, you know, in the offensive line, what you kind of look for is the perfect play, right? And what I mean by perfect play is 5. It's just 5 guys. You know, if we grade, you have an S, a minus, or, you know, S is good, minus is bad, plus is exceptional, right? A double minus is awful. If you have 5 S's, you're going to move the ball. You're going to have people covered up. You're going to be some running lanes. You're going to hit some runs. I mean, you might not just be knocking people back all day long. But if you have 4 S's and a minus, you know, and that's the thing with the offensive line. And it's you need 5 S's to be successful up front.
And I don't think he played by some dressed out. Jacob Copeland, is he healthy enough to make an impact at all?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's back now, right? I mean, we'd like to redshirt him because he just got healthy a couple weeks ago, and so there's 4 games left, so he'd have the opportunity, right? 5 games left. How many games are left?
4. 4 games.
3 in a bowl. 4, so he could play the rest of the way if he needed to. But, you know, also he missed a whole bunch of training camps. So, you know, I mean, he would be limited into kind of spot duty here or there, just in, you know, learning and understanding the offense and knowing what to go do and how to go do it. You know, and then what's interesting, though, with a lot of those guys is, you know, this week you're still limited because in league games you're limited on who can dress. And, I mean, how many can dress and how many can play in the game. So I think that's always a little bit trickier. And then after that, the next 3 games, there isn't a limit. So there is the availability to put some more guys in there within that redshirt rule.
I want to follow up on something you were talking about with the Emery question a minute ago. You said you think it's possible Felipe might have been kind of thrown in too early?
I would guess last year, you know. I mean, in seeing him, I mean, right, he played last year as a redshirt freshman. I haven't played many redshirt freshman quarterbacks as the starter. I don't know that I have. Right? I mean, Tebow was a role player.
Right.
Tua is a sophomore. Tebow was a role player as a freshman, and then as a true sophomore played. So he played a little bit and then kind of took over. Dak Prescott started his redshirt sophomore year for me. I just think there's development. Not that you can't, not that you don't, but I think you better be really cautious if you're going to play that young of a quarterback. I'm great playing. You can play freshman. You just got to be really cautious with them. I mean, my guess would be, I didn't study it all, but from what I hear from everybody, I would have been hard pressed to think he was ready to go in for how everybody treats him. That he probably wasn't ready to go in when he got put in.
So to follow up on that, then, can you kind of elaborate on the downsides? Is that you form bad habits? Is it you get gun shy?
Absolutely.
What is that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Confidence is the biggest thing at the quarterback position. Okay? Like I said, I mean, one of the hardest thing in the world to do, right, is to stand here while people are coming at you trying to hit you, and you don't flinch or move. You're going to stand in the pocket and get through your read and get through your progression, right? You know, without that, like I said, both of those, when you go to the back to the wall situation, both of those throws could have been made. Now, I mean, it would have been a train wreck in the backfield, but if you've kind of played too early and you know you're not ready for that moment, and you start getting hit before you know where to go with the ball, you start getting a little gun shy. You know, I mean, I remember that with Chris when I got here before, and I've seen it with other quarterbacks. I mean, I've seen quarterbacks, you get them, if they'll throw and they throw and duck or cringe, and I'm like, there's no one near you. But they've just been so used to getting hit that, you know, that can take over at times. And so I think that's where you want to be. You want to put guys in position to try to do things that they can do so that they can build confidence, right? I mean, if 2006, Tim Tebow played barely at all. Now, he got an awful lot of attention on the 6 plays a game that he played, right? But that led to him being confident to go win the Heisman Trophy the next year. You know, I mean, there led to some confidence building in the limited action that he saw, that by the time it was, and he played, so he'd been in big games, he'd been in big moments, he'd been experienced, he'd been on the field, he'd gone through a season as a backup to learn the system, and now I got to go play in the game. Well, now I know the system. I've been in big moments. You might still not have the entire playbook open to him, but there's confidence, and I think that's such a huge factor.
You did so much to invigorate a frustrated fan base in the
Yeah.
offseason, especially the students. Are you disappointed in the showing this last Saturday, and do you think the noon start will be a difficult?
I'm not disappointed in any of the fan base in what they've done. I think they've really tried to buy in since we got here. You know, I mean, since day one, if you go back since we've been here of the spring game, all showing up, all throughout the season, you know, the environment they created at LSU to give us that advantage. I think the fan base, you know, I've said since the day, you know, I know the other night, and I said, hey, you know, how you build the program, but I've said that from day one, since the day I got here, that we're all in this together, you know, and to get the program to championship level, it's not just going to be my play calling or, you know, or a blitz we run on defense or who's playing quarterback. It's a program as a whole, and our fans are such a critical part of that program. And you know, so I've been pleased with how they've bought in. And to me, I want to make sure they continue to understand how important they are. You know, one of the things, heck, you know, in everybody within the program. That's why we go after the game, win or lose, we're going to go sing the alma mater with the band because they're so critical to our program. The cheerleaders and the band, they kind of ignite the students, and the students ignite the fans, and everybody creates an environment that's unbelievable. And we are in that together, whether it is for the guys on the field and the energy they feel on the field, to making it difficult for the other team, to the environment you're showing when we have top recruits on campus that, boy, I want to come play in this environment. This place is awesome. That they are such a critical role. So I think they've really tried to buy in to what we're doing. I think it's a different era in football, and I know that we work as a department, you know, the UAA as a whole, on how to create the game day environment, because, you know, 15 years ago, you just come to the game. Now there's like 1,000 different ways to get to experience the game in different ways. And so, but to create that environment, because that environment helps us win. So I've been pleased with what they've done. I'm sure I don't mind noon kickoffs personally. Yeah, y'all don't mind it, but I know everybody in the Gator Nation would prefer that late afternoon, evening kickoff, because it makes for even probably a more fun day for everybody. Within the tailgating before. So, but I think it's something we're all working together to get the program where we want it to be. And as I've said right from the beginning you've seen that with programs. I did it at a program, you know, that really had no tradition, and we didn't have a whole lot. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot, and all of a sudden, like, hey, let's just create an environment that people want to come to and be a part of. And it started snowballing a little bit from there, and I think that's a really, really big deal for us. Heck, I think I was taking pictures with band recruits before the game. Or there's like a 5-star band member I'm taking pictures with. You know, hey, no, but you know what? Yeah, but you know, if you think about it, but their role is as, you know, you think, boy, the team's important. the Gator Nation, the band, everybody's important to create that unbelievable environment for us. And I think our fans, when we've asked them to buy in, I think, as our team on the field, all of us were always working to get better. I mean, I want to continue to see us moving forward. Whether it's us creating a better, I think we did food court last week. We're all the different things to make the game day experience better, make it a better experience for everybody, make this the place you have to be on a Saturday, just an environment you want to be in, and it can continue to build off of each other.
What were some of the issues on defense the other night, Dan?
I think we weren't as physical as we needed to be. In winning one-on-one battles up front against the run. We didn't affect the quarterback the way we needed to, getting after him and get him out of his comfort zone. I think those would probably be the biggest two factors for me is making sure we're affecting the quarterback by, with coverage being tight enough where he's got to hold the ball long enough for us to affect him with a rush, and then the physicality up front of winning one-on-one blocks.
Of course you want to win every game, but as somebody who follows kind of legacies at UF closely, how much personally do you want to win this game against Will Muschamp?
Yeah, I guess that's big, right? But, to me, I remember being here before when Coach Spurrier was up there, and that felt a little bit different, but not that it is.
He was 2-3 here, by the way.
Who? Yeah.
Coaching another team. You were 1-0.
Coaching another team. Yeah. In the swamp. Yeah, I was undefeated. Maybe I need to go to that we'll switch sidelines this week. I'm going to go back to the other sideline. I'm undefeated on that sideline. You know what? I don't think about it in terms. I haven't thought about it in terms of that much. To be honest with you, I've thought more in terms of I want to win the game because I want to win the game. Yeah, I didn't. I guess. Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't thought about it in those terms at all.
Appreciate it. So I was saying, for the fans that could drive 4 hours after the game, they probably glad to play today. Yeah, right. Does it suck to get sick during the season?
Yeah, I try to drug myself up.